What's up, y'all? It's Vanelli Cuts here, and we're here with another scoop of the day. I'm here with business owner, educator, fierce competitor, and influencer of the year, Abdiel. How you feeling today?
How you doing today?
Good.
Yeah, thank
you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of you since the Berks Barber Expo, man.
It's been a little hectic since that time. A lot of things been happening. Trying to level up. Trying to level up.
Oh, I hear that. Always on the grind.
Always.
So let's just get right into it. Winning influencer of the year. What does that mean for you?
Man, I still can't put it into words. It's all the hard work, all the grinding, late night cuts, everything I do for my community. Finally being recognized throughout a room with so much talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It hit a little different. It honestly shocked me, but it was great.
How long have you been cutting hair?
A long time. It's been a long time.
Nice. So I've seen that you've I've always seen you compete in the Barber Expos. Like
I've competed to several of them. Yes.
Yeah. You stay busy.
Yeah.
So you've competed. Have you judged before?
I have.
Okay. So you've competed. You've judged, and you're also an educator. What do you feel is like the heaviest title that you hold? I'm sorry.
I wouldn't say the heaviest.
But like the most important title to you.
The most important for me, I would say, is educator.
An educator?
You know what I mean? Just being able to plant seeds and see the next generation actually prosper with the skills you've shown them, and try to lead them in the right direction. Because being young, we can be careless at times. You know what I mean? But, with a good foundation and a good vision, man, you can accomplish whatever you want to do.
Oh, I love that, man. So, what inspired you to become a barber?
My dad. My dad, rest in peace. He started cutting our hair when we were kids. We grew up in an era where, you had to either get your dad cut or you had a barber shop you went to. But yeah, typically it was my dad or any of his friends that kind of cut. But yeah, he inspired me to cut. Yeah, he's.
And you were a young buck, like when you first picked up the clippers?
I was like 13.
Wow.
Yeah, like I remember he had given me a good solid fade. Best fade, one of the best fades I've gotten. And he torched me. He gave me a crazy shape up. And from that moment on, it kind of like I started just shaping myself up after he cut me. And I just noticed every time, the first time somebody sat in my chair and they were like, bro, this was it, man. Like, yeah, you nice. It just sparked it. I just like, you know what, this is it, man.
Nice. So at what point did you realize like it's not just a hustle, this isn't just a hobby, this is something where I could kind of create my own lane?
I would say around 15, 16.
Okay.
Still young in the game, being taught by a lot of the old heads, Ralphie, Boya. I cut a lot with a lot of Shorty. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of barbers that have had major names, and I was able to experience them at a young age, and kind of stayed a student.
And that's important, to always remain a student in the game. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it's year 1 or year 30.
For sure.
You're constantly picking up things here and there.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice. So we just talked about you competing in a lot of shows. Can you remember the first time you actually got a trophy?
Berks with Eric, his first Berks County Expo. Yeah, correct. Yeah, it was a good moment. I was nervous at first, anxious, hands sweating, but placing top 3, man, you kind of like, all right, I did my thing.
Do you remember which category it was in?
Freestyle.
Okay.
Yeah. I did a wing, I believe it was.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like that's so true. Like I competed in the student competition like years back, and I believe I did the walk-in challenge one time. But there's nothing like being on that stage.
No. It's a different feeling.
You be so poised up there, and like the swag, and you just like you have this like bring the barbershop to the stage just attitude, and it's actually pretty awesome to watch.
That. Thank you.
100%. And freestyle design, that's what you placed in this year too. You won that category.
No, I actually got second place.
Second place. The design was crazy.
Yeah, thank you.
So when you go do a design, are you just straight off the vibe, like okay, whatever, or you go in like okay, I kind of know what I'm gonna do?
I feel like my coldest, like my best freestyles have always been off the vibe of a shop, what you kind of want to get, and just going with that, put some good music. I listen to J. Cole a lot, so whenever you listen to J. Cole, I'm locked in.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I listen to a lot of, but yeah, that's usually the most time I inspire. It's just, kind of about a vibe.
And is that the same for when you are competing? Do you have like a concept like going to the stage? Because I saw you come with like some gold color.
Yeah, I just put a star and a little stripe. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make something happen out of it. I was like, you know what, I got the star to either the star to start, or I have a thick line, a blonde line, which I made like a Versace. I had made a little Versace.
Yeah, that was fire.
And then from there, I kind of just kept going.
So it is just all just a flow.
Yeah, it's just.
So you really was freestyling.
Yeah. Every time, 1-on-1.
That's crazy.
I try to follow the example God gave us when He made everything. Everybody got a fingerprint that's different from everybody. There's been millions of people that existed, and we have ceased, to have the same fingerprint. So that's how I like to do my designs, just one-on-one.
Wow, so it's safe to say you'll never see the two designs from you.
No, you would never.
That's
no.
True artistry.
Yeah, thank you.
True artistry. So we're here right now at Berks Barber School. You teach here. How fulfilling is teaching? Because we were just talking. I did not know this actually, even coming to this interview. You teach also at Abraxas.
Yes, I do teach at Abraxas.
So you said that being an educator is probably the most important role.
Yeah.
What does that mean for you to be able to give back? And go ahead.
It just words really can't put it into play, man. I kind of just trust God and keep following the plays that He guides me to. You know what I mean? I feel like helping these kids, get out that mindset that things are the same. Things can change. It just takes hard work.
So what is kind of that mindset that kind of restricts the youth at this point in the game?
Well, that's a good one. That's a hard question. I would say entitlement. Oof. In a sense, like looking at somebody's success and thinking like, oh, I could do that. But that's the biggest thing is the journey. You know what I mean? I've been cutting, I'm gonna say maybe 23, 24 years. I'm 37 now.
And now you're starting to see the fruits of your labor.
And it's been a while. I've seen it with my customers and the love we get when we go to events. But yeah, seeing it now, like actually people coming up to me like even at the event when I got the award, it was more like people are like, yo, keep doing your thing. And it's like, you really don't see it because you're just grinding. I got a wife, 2 kids, trying to balance that with work life and, trying to keep everything intact. But yeah, it's been a fun journey. I don't discourage anything. I appreciate the journey.
No, I love that. And that's very true. That's why, that's kind of like the reason I made Scoop of the Day. So people, cause like, it's funny that you say entitlement. That's like literally the whole point of kind of Scoop of the Day. Finding successful people, and on every single story that I've told, like I interviewed Eric, I've interviewed Sal, like I have the pleasure of sitting with you. It's almost like there's just been this turning point where it's like, I gotta grind, you know what I mean? And I don't, like no one owes me nothing. I just gotta go get it. You gotta make sacrifices, and you gotta believe in yourself.
Even when it looks like it's not happening.
And pushing through that mindset is what makes the people successful. You can't just stop at it's hard. So
Steve Harvey, I believe it was. He said you gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable.
100%.
Especially when you're trying to reach your goals, because you hit plateaus. Astronauts go to the moon. When they come back, they gotta get different goals because their whole life they work to get to the moon. You know what I mean? Now you hit the moon. Yeah. Now you come back and you're just gonna live a regular life? No, now you gotta, skydiving or, try to keep yourself busy.
Always.
You know what I mean? Sky's the
always.
limit. So
I love that. So you mentioned that you have kids, you have a wife, we teach, we compete, we judge, we do all of these things. How do you keep it all balanced? And mind you, you also cut like full time, right? Like you're like busy in the shop spinning. So how do you balance all of that?
God, I just trust God, having a good support at home, my kids, my wife, being able to lean on them when I'm feeling like, this ain't working. It's like, nah, keep going, man. Dad, you got it. Nah, you dad, you're good,
Yeah.
And seeing them succeeding, like my son just got accepted to KU.
Oh,
you know
wow.
what I mean?
Okay, so how old are your kids?
18. My son is about to be 18 and 15.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been, just trying to get them to where they're gonna be, and get going farther than what I've done. You know what I mean? That's my mindset with them, and I've always told them that, do better than me. Don't try to do as good as me. I want you to surpass what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we can extend the legacy. The legacy.
Yeah. Those are words of a loving father, man.
Yeah. And I love my kids, my family.
Yeah, family and God, man. And then the rest comes
that's
naturally.
It just comes, man. Go with the flow, treat your people right, and good things come to you.
Yeah. So winning the influencer of the year, what kind of responsibility do you think comes with that?
I got to show up. I got to make sure I'm showing the example for the younger generation coming up. Things that we did in the past or things you can affect your progress. You know what I mean? One month out of the gym, now you're back to, going back to 25 pounds, after you were doing 70, 80, life is just, working at it and consistently working at it.
Yeah. Wow. That is a gem right there. I like that.
Thank you.
So what do you think sets you apart in this barber world?
Sets me apart?
Yeah. From what makes you unique? What makes ABAB in all of this in barbering?
I don't know. I just do it. I love it. I've loved it the minute that I picked up a pair of clippers. It just sank in, and I love the responsibility of having somebody in my chair that's venting and, letting me know how much they appreciate the haircut. You know what I mean? If they're going through some, bring them back from that gloominess, kind of give them a better day.
I feel like we have a big responsibility in that. A lot of people, they come to us as barbers for a lot of important events, whether it's sadly a funeral, whether it's like a wedding, so that puts a lot of pride in what you do, for sure.
For sure.
So does someone or something inspire you? Kind of like your dad and God. I think it's kind of piggybacking in that one. That one's a question I had there is if someone or something inspired you creatively or professionally. Is there an ultimate goal?
I mean, sky's the limit. I mean, I'm not stopping yet. I'm gonna continue to keep thriving and keep climbing. Getting better as I age. Like some fine wine. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to perfect my craft, in every aspect, not just designs, comb overs, scissors. I want to be an overall barber. I can do whatever you need me to do. You know what I mean? Versatile. So, I grow my inspiration from music, man. Music, everything is art, man. The way people look, you know what I mean? The texture of the hair, trying to just figure that out and, give them the style that they want every time.
It's kind of like a puzzle when you think about it. When you get that new person that comes into your
for
chair,
sure. Yeah,
and you're just trying to figure it
out. You're putting this here and maybe this line. But after the I always tell people the first hair, and they love the first haircut always. But I'm always like, it's only going to get better.
Come back.
It's only going to get better. I promise you to set, and that's the chain, the consistency. Every time you get a cut with me, it's A1. A lot of my customers be like, hey, you're the wedding, you know what I mean? You're the wedding planner. I go to you when it's an important event. I got, and that's the value that I bring to it. I feel like, I make the haircut look as good as a free cut than a person that gives me $100. It's still the same exact haircut.
The quality doesn't
matter. And I enjoy it more when I do it for free.
Oh,
you know what I mean? That's something that I enjoy doing.
It's definitely a blessing when you can do something with your hands that means so much to someone else.
No, for sure.
I think that's
being able
something
to transform
that
somebody's life is super important, man. We all going through life. We all on a boat, a lot of water trying to come in the boat. We just got to stay steady, trust God, and trust the vision that you're following, man.
Oh, I love that. If you could describe your barbering legacy in one word or maybe a sentence, what would it be?
Wow, that's one word?
One word or maybe a sentence, because one word is like kind of crazy.
Legacy. You know, I'm one-on-one. I'm nobody else coming like me, and I'm coming to prove it. You know what I mean?
I love that. Put that on a t-shirt, guys. And this probably is my favorite question to ask. What is the toughest challenge that you've had in your entire journey, and how have you overcame that?
We actually touched base on that earlier, you know, having the faith in what you're doing, staying consistent on it, you know, even though it don't look like anything's happening, even it don't look good. You know, when you climbing up, there's a lot of responsibilities, and that kind of weighs on you.
Yeah.
But just trying to see that I am enough. You know what I mean? In this industry that you see highlights everywhere, and it's like, oh wow, I wish I can. But it's slowing the pace down, enjoying the journey as you're going, enjoying the people that you're around, and hopefully the people stay with you that, you know, as you climb, you know. But you know, staying knit with my family, you know, making sure we good and tight. You know, Berks Barber School, it's another chapter of my life. You know, we got a Braxis, we got a couple kids up there that, you know, are taking a full interest in the barbering career, which is very exciting for me. You know what I mean? It's my first time teaching, and they're loving it. You know, I got these kids reading biology in our books. You know what I mean? Gosh. So it's beautiful, man. But the hardest part was, you know, believing in me that I can do it, that I do have enough, and my vision is enough. Whether everything else is not looking like it, it's making sure you got that tunnel vision. Not
for sure, and it's proven to be more than enough. You should be beyond proud of the last 24 years of your barbering journey. I appreciate that. 100%. You speak a lot about Abraxas and the kids. So is there anything that you would tell a young barber today? You know, some advice for a young barber watching probably?
Trust the process. Trust God first, but, you know, trust the process. Be a student of the game, you know, forever. Like, don't ever think that you know more than anybody, because it could be a beginner that just had that natural talent, and he just does something different with the clipper. You know what I mean? He's using the clipper a different way, the comb a different way.
Yeah.
And you just learn. I've learned so much through everybody. Like, it's not even specific barbers which have mentored me and leveled me up in a different way, but even the younger kids, when they're doing something, like they'll do something to remind me of something that I used to do. You know what I mean? When I was younger, I'm like, oh damn, I forgot I used to, you know what I mean? And then it taps you right back. It just, you know, stay in love with the game and stay a student of it.
How do you manage to stay in love with the game?
I just try to multiply the gift God gave me. I'm just in love with the game. I love it. I like
it's in you.
I love it. I love it, man. My kids love it. My wife loves it. You know, I got the students at the shop that they've been learning. It's been an incredible journey. It's been fun. Wow. And I enjoy every minute of it. And I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
Alrighty, man. So that's all I have for my questions today. All right. Is there anything next? What are you expecting 2026? Something to look forward to. I know exactly what we have. The June 8th Clipper Madness.
Oh, yes.
You will be judging.
Yes.
That's Freestyle's Barber Expo.
Yes, it is.
So yes, definitely look forward to that. You're a judge there.
I'm looking very forward to that. You know, excited to see the competition. Yeah. You know, the tenacity it takes to be on stage and create these art forms, and you know, everybody, like we said, we all got fingerprints, man. So it's all unique styles. I'm excited to be on the other side of the chair, you know, kind of observing it and, you know, peeping if I see a technique or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can learn something from these barbers. That's crazy. Like, so what is like some type of criteria? I know I said that was my last question, but what is like some criteria that you like when you're judging? What do you look for? Like what advice can you give someone that's going to compete in the process?
Make sure you come with sharp lines, symmetrical lines. Make sure you're cleaning the neck areas. If you're shaving, make sure there is no hairs. Wow. Do not nick anybody. Do not cut anybody. That is automatic.
Just red flag.
There's no finesse there. That just means there's no finesse, and you got a little nervous. And it happens. It happens.
What?
You know what I mean? But yeah, just keep calm, trust in the vision that you're coming before you're getting there. If you got your model, make sure you're practicing about like 2 to 3 weeks before, kind of get that feel in it, and then you know, give it 120% when you hit that stage.
Okay.
Because everybody else is hitting 120, so
100%. You don't want to be that person that can nick somebody.
Don't be giving it 90 or 80.
There you go.
You know what I mean? We want to go over that bar, you know.
Well, I appreciate you so much for sitting down with me today. I hope you guys were ready with a pen and paper, because he definitely dropped some gems for us today. So
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
God bless you.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. That was it.